Brianna Herdman, Project 3. The introduction. The photographer's name is Louis Hine. He's an American photographer alive from 1874 till 1940. A quote of his is, "There is work that profits children, and there is work that brings profit only to employers. The object of employing children is not to train them, but to get high profits from their work." Louis Hine had to work at a very young age because his father died early in his life. He held many jobs as a child and worked long hours for not that much pay. After he finished school and graduated from college, he became a nature study and geography teacher. The school superintendent asked him to be the school's photographer, and that is how he was introduced to photography. He later became a photography teacher where he taught Paul Strand. The title of the image is called Rhodes Manufacturing Company, Lincolnton, North Carolina. Spinner, a moment's glimpse of the outer world, said she was 10 years old, been working over a year. Location, Lincolnton, North Carolina. It was made in 1908. It's a silver print made with a Garflex camera. It's a social documentary photograph. The children at the time worked in factories, mills, cotton fields, etc., alongside their families. There were child labor laws in place in some areas of the United States, but they weren't enforced. Some people would say that they just happened in, or that the child was there to help the older sibling. Description. Frame. I believe that this image was actively framed because I believe he wanted to get as much as possible in the frame. He wanted the girl in the middle of the image with the window to her left, but still having the machinery to her right. The hallway and the machinery are leading lines right to the little girl looking out the window. Vantage point. His vantage point is straight on with the little girl a little away from the subject so that he can see the machinery and the window while still being able to see the little girl's expression, facial expression. Light. I believe that there is soft lighting in the picture because there's no harsh shadows. There's a soft shadow on the wall next to the girl, so that there must have been factory lights inside the building. There's also a shadow behind her on her back, suggesting that there was light coming out from the window, which also illuminates her face. And focus. The main focus is definitely the little girl looking out the window. He wanted her eyes to go right to her. He had a shallow depth of field to make her and the plane around her in focus. The machinery down the hall is very out of focus, while the window and a little bit of the machinery behind her are in focus. Also, anything before her in the hallway is out of focus. The floor, the machinery, the walls, everything. Interpretation. Hine wanted the viewer of the time to feel for the children in his photographs. He wanted there to be a change in how the child labor laws were upheld. I believe that Hine wanted the viewer to feel sympathy for this little girl that has given up her childhood to work. He shot her away from the machines just when she was looking out the window, making the viewer think that she was daydreaming of being able to go outside. In some of his images, he wants us to see the children as they were working around him and him documenting it. He would write down as much information about the child as he could. In this image, it's that she was 10 and had been working for a year as a spinner in a textile mill. He worked for the National Child Labor Committee to show the people of the time that child labor laws were not being upheld and that children were being forced out because of slavery, to work in dangerous conditions to help their family. Evaluation. I believe he effectively communicated the idea that children shouldn't work when they are so young. He wanted to give a factual representation with his images that children shouldn't be in the workplace. Through his use of framing and focus, the viewer does feel for this little girl. His framing gets in her surroundings while her focus is on the outer world. I believe that if she wasn't looking out of the window, it would make a different image and a different feeling for the viewer. The viewer would still have a sense that the child shouldn't be working because of the young age, but we wouldn't get the sense of the child's perspective that she would like to be outside instead of working in a textile mill.